How's it going, everyone? By the time you guys are watching this video, hopefully everything is resolved, but it seems like the release of Hollow Knight Silksong is such a megaton that it has destroyed storefronts, the PlayStation Store included. We'll talk about that. Want to give you guys a heads up on Gears of War Reloaded getting a notable patch, and some fixes are rolling out. Nonetheless, I will not be complaining about Hollow Knight Silksong's price point at $19.99, but it seems like so many people want to pick the game up for $20 that it has literally destroyed storefronts. Steam is having issues with people checking out and buying the game. The PlayStation Store, from what I can tell, 12:17 p.m. Eastern Time, the game is still not available to purchase, at least readily available. You could do some shenanigans where you could find like a URL for the game, a checkout link for the game, and then you can check out that way. But if you look up Hollow Knight Silksong, as I am recording this game, nothing comes up. You cannot buy the game, and, they already put out on their social media channels that the game is available everywhere. This game is doing insane, and it already peaked well over 100,000 concurrent players on Steam, and that is like 30 minutes after the game launched that I saw that number. This game is going to be a megaton release, and I heard it referred to as the GTA of indie game releases. You had so many indie developers moving their games and pushing their games aside. Look, I think 2025 is going to be a really interesting year of a lot of games that are going to be case studies for game developers, because there is so much market research that you can do. There is so much you can do to find the perfect live service experience that is really going to capture people's interest. Concord Fair Game, oh, this is what people really want. But in reality, a lot of the times it's these passion projects that just do incredible numbers, and you saw that earlier this year with Expedition 33 as well. Now, to be fair, I'm taking a look at Hollow Knight Silksong and Expedition 33. Not every game ends up like this. I think we would be kidding ourselves if we only took the top games released and be like, oh, this is what always works, just do this. It's not that easy, but at the same time, I do think this chasing after certain trends, especially in the game development world, where these game development cycles are so lengthy that, yeah, you could do all the market research you want in 2025, you can greenlight a game in 2025. What does it matter if the game's not going to be out until 2030 and the whole landscape is going to change? But in the case of Hollow Knight Silksong, Hollow Knight came out back in 2018, and then it was received really well. It gained this fandom year over year, and now Silksong is going to be orders of magnitude bigger than the original on the basis of this game getting a lot of social media traction, it being priced accordingly at $19.99, and maybe even accordingly wouldn't be the right word, because yes, they could have priced it at $39.99, they could have priced it at $50, and people would have absolutely still bought it. However, at $20, it's at that price point where a lot of people are going to be like, hey, everybody's talking about this game, it's only $20, let me just check it out. Or people are gonna gift it to their friends, and putting it at $20 is gonna put it at that range where, I wouldn't be gifting my boys $50 games, alright? Buy your own $50 games, but a $20 game, if I feel really strongly about it, and, I want my buddy to play it, I might buy them a $20 game. It puts it in that range where I think a lot of people are just gonna pick it up as well, just based on word of mouth. And again, people will be spending $20 on their lunch out these days with how crazy these prices are. Hollow Knight Silksong, chances are it's going to give you hours and hours of entertainment and content, and it's going to be a worthwhile purchase, even if I'm not the person that loved Hollow Knight amazingly. It's not like I had anything against it, it's just like I wasn't in love with the game like a lot of other people. Even those people that maybe they played the first one and they enjoyed the game, I don't think anybody outright hated Hollow Knight, but based on the fact that we are a prisoner of the moment at a lot of times, and everybody in the gaming world right now is talking about Silksong based on the fact that it's at a $20 price point. I think a lot of people are just going to end up picking it up that otherwise wouldn't have, just because, hey, the price point's really good and everybody's talking about it. That's all you really need sometimes. And on top of that, I've talked about it before, but there is a metric and there is an element of gaming that you cannot just quantify, and that is goodwill. There are so many publishers, so many studios that bazooka all of their goodwill over the course of several years, Ubisoft being the most notable one. Team Cherry has a lot of goodwill. Why not continue building that goodwill? Because for subsequent games, and selling the game in the future. People buying it, they're gonna do updates for this game. Guess what? They'll passively sell a lot of copies, and goodwill goes a long way. They don't have stockholders to adhere to. They don't gotta please stockholders. Continue building that goodwill, and guess what? Your next game is gonna be big. The game after that is gonna be big, as long as they continue building that goodwill. But at the very least, Silksong is this megaton release where literally the PlayStation Store is getting cooked. And again, I'll refresh the page right now to see if yeah, it's still not available to buy. Again, you can find a little bit of a workaround to, you know, get a link, a checkout link, and you should be able to buy it that way. But I'm sure by the end of the day, or by the time you guys are watching this video, given we gotta go through the editing process and everything like that, it should be good to go and you should be able to buy the game. But I digress. There you go with that. Lastly, a game that you can buy right now, and a game that, you know, there was a little bit of a debate on the price point. I thought the price point was pretty decent on Gears of War Reloaded, you guys. $39.99. Made my way through the campaign, and man, outside of the checkpoints being terrible in Gears of War, I forgot how bad the checkpoints were, and your boy was getting cooked left and right, but man, I love the Gears of War campaign. Had a great time with it, and, you know, it's not super lengthy, although, comparatively to the original game, when it originally came out on 360, you do have Act 5 expanded a little bit, because the original, I believe, had it cut a little bit down, and Act 5 ended up being really short, but you got the whole thing there. Love the campaign, and Gears is just my kind of shooter, man. When it comes to the Microsoft IPs, I loved Halo, but the Gears of War campaigns are always the one that really resonated with me, and in terms of just being blood and guts, gruesome, just testosterone raging shooters, third-person shooters with the chainsaw and everything like that, again, blood and guts galore, I always had a great time with Gears, and I'm enjoying the multiplayer as well. You know, is it a little bit of a dated experience? Sure, but Gears being on PlayStation is still such an incredible sight. Although there have been some issues. I know a couple of days ago there was a huge issue with the servers, and the server connectivity when I was trying to play was just absolutely terrible. I played some last night though, and it was working fine, and now the patch is out, and Coalition has dropped the changelog for it. Reduced power at mid-range, damage modifications, medium range damage reduced by 15%, does not affect close range damage. Bullet spread not as tight when aiming down sights. The shotgun pellet spread when aiming down sights is now less tight when targeting compared to the launch version, but is still tighter than the beta. So improvements being made on Gears Reloaded. I imagine at this point, if you didn't buy the game, there's really not going to be a lot that could win you over to spend $40 on it. But hey, when it goes on sale, maybe at $29.99, $24.99, it'll be a good buy then. Hopefully, this does pave the way for Gears 2 and Gears 3 to get ported, as well as we did see the Platinum Trophy, which I don't have the Platinum Trophy. I don't know if I'm going to go for it, but the Platinum Trophy does say your journey is over for now. I am sure Gears E-Day will eventually be on PlayStation 5 as well, maybe even on launch day, but I would really hope Gears 2 and 3 would be great if we could get those ported quick. I saw somebody in the comment section make the point of, hey, they don't gotta do anything crazy for these ports. Do what Capcom did for Resident Evil 4, the original, getting ported, and Resident Evil 5, and that's it. And I agree with them. Like, you don't have to give us the world for that. Let's try to get a release of Gears 2 and 3 maybe by the spring of next year, and then cap off 2026, which I believe would be the 20-year mark from the release of the original Gears, with Gears E-Day. I think it could be just a celebration of Gears. I think it could just be an incredible celebration of Gears all year of 2026, and I think that would be incredible, and really juice up Gears back to a point where it was one of the more prominent franchises in all of gaming, and I think Reloaded had already cracked 1 million players. You know, a lot of that is Game Pass, but still, it's doing very well, and I think you can build that momentum and ride that momentum into the release of E-Day, fall of 2026. But that is going to do it for me. Again, the PlayStation Store getting absolutely obliterated by Hollow Knight Silksong. Very unfortunate there, but it is what it is. That game is a megaton of a release, and Gears of War Reloaded gets its patch, and that is live now. Some modifications and fixes as far as that's concerned. That'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.